All right, we are back on the record. Thank you all for your patience. At this time, I entertain a motion to return to regular session. It has been moved. Is there a second?
A second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carries. We are back in regular session. Following deliberation on license number R870376, the board panel renders the following. Reinstated with drug-related stipulations to include 60 months of probation, prohibited areas of practice, educational courses, including refresher course, max hours, 88 hours per 2 weeks, counseling management, team reports, drug screens, employer reports, AA calendars, indirect supervision, $500 fine. A written notification of this decision will be forwarded to the licensee. We thank you for your appearance here today. You are excused.
Thank you so very much.
Ms. Smith, this is Sandra Culpepper. I just wanted to say you've done a great job thus far, and I look forward to seeing you be successful.
Thank you. I will not disappoint you. Thank you so much.
So Shirley just tried to do something. Is she surrendering? Or
Well, she is, I mean, let Laquita know. Yeah,
Which one is
she's
she,
both.
a PN or an RN?
She's both. She has both.
Which one was she operating?
Right. I think her,
Her PN license is on this.
her PN license was the final order in 2018. And she received her RN license in 2018, 6/6. Like it was all around that time. So we need to include, honestly, we do. We do. Thank you, Miss Shirley.
You're welcome.
Because she was an LPN when she signed this. And then now, because that's when you, let's see,
You got an RN in June.
mm-hmm.
These documents that are here are in November.
Graduated when?
She got a license in June of 18.
And she signed the final order in October.
Let's see, well, the final order only references her LPN. I'm sorry, I was thinking she was an LPN. Did you monitor her there as an LPN? Mm-hmm.
She was disciplined as an LPN though.
Mm-hmm.
Is the 319 number?
Honestly, because she's got an RN, there's an AG opinion that says we hold them to the highest line. Oh, wait. Okay. TJ, you there?
TJ, we've listed you as the alternate on Miss Gilson.
Okay,
It's
I
okay.
think, TJ, for both PMs today, we've listed you as the alternate. Is that okay?
yeah, that's fine.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, the next matter before the panel involves the following license numbers: R 909-771, P 319951. These license numbers are assigned to the same licensee.
Alyssa K. White Gilson.
Is the licensee present?
Yes, sir.
Need you to speak a little louder and state your name, please.
Elisa Gilson.
All right, thank you. Are you represented by counsel?
No, sir.
Do you understand you have the right to be represented by an attorney?
Yes.
You also understand you have the right to present witnesses and evidence on your behalf?
Yes.
You further understand that you have the right to cross-examine any witnesses who may testify against you?
Yes.
And finally, do you understand that you have the right to have subpoenas issued by the board on your behalf?
Yes.
All right, thank you. These proceedings will move forward as follows. We will have opening statements. Any questions regarding to the witnesses will begin with direct examination, followed by cross-examination. Next with redirect and any questioning by the board or the hearing officer. At the conclusion of both sides, we will hear closing statements. The board will make findings of fact and conclusions of law and will render its decision in this matter, a written copy of which will be forwarded to the licensee. At this time, I'll ask that all witnesses be sworn in.
Miss Alyssa Gilson and Miss Vera Rucker to be potentially called as a rehabilitated witness.
Ms. Gilson, would you raise your right hand, please, ma'am, to be sworn in? Solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this cause to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
All right, thank you. For the record, a quorum is present. I also remind everyone that these hearings are open to the public. The board may deliberate and make its decision in executive session. Are there any preliminary matters, counsel?
Yes, yes, before the panel, there are two. One, the state at this time makes a motion that exhibits B1 through B9 be admitted into the record.
Ms. Gilson, do you have any objection to any of the exhibits?
No.
All right, thank you. They will be admitted.
And secondly, the state is under the understanding that Ms. Gilson is going to enter a plea of guilty to the allegations alleged in the complaint.
Is that the case, Ms. Gilson?
Yes.
And at this time, given that plea, and I know you may have to observe her rights if you haven't previously done so, the state would then just ask that we rest on our pleadings and then have the opportunity to cross-examine Ms. Gilson in the presentation of her case.
Thank you, counsel. Ms. Gilson,
Yes.
you may proceed with any statements in support of your position at this time.
My only statement is that when the order was made and I looked into the classes, I was actually unable to afford any of them. I do know I probably should have been in better contact to find out if there was any other alternatives, but I didn't. I didn't think it would really, I didn't think it would change anything. I went on to get my RN license so that I could work as a better professional than the positions that I was in. Also didn't think that this case would be affecting my RN license. I figured it would just go against the LPN license and was able to maybe move forward, but I guess that's all.
Thank you, Ms. Gilson. Council, you may proceed.
Ms. Gilson, for the record, what is your current mailing address, please?
2116 Brushy Creek Road, Loosedale, Mississippi, 39452.
Okay. And have you updated the board with your new address?
I don't think so.
Okay. And your LPN license is currently in a lapsed status, is that correct?
Yes. I didn't think I would have to have it with having the RN license.
That's
I didn't
correct.
think I'd have to keep it current.
That's correct. But given the situation that you signed the final order, agreeing to certain stipulations, this was in effect on October 9, 2018, and it was as a result of actions that were done in 2016 when you were on LPN, correct?
Right.
All right. And so today you understand that the matter involves both your LPN and your RN license.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Let's go then to the final order. Ms. Gilson, that's Exhibit B6. If you would have that exhibit ready and let me know when you do, I'm going to ask you some questions about that, please.
I don't actually have anything printed. I did read over it though.
Okay, so your testimony then, and for the record, you did receive exhibits previously admitted into the record B1 through B9?
Yes.
Okay. All right, very good. Then your final order dated October 9, 2018, it had you pay a fine of $250. It had you complete a substance abuse course, a legal aspects of nursing course, and submit to a chemical dependency substance abuse evaluation. Isn't that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And of those things named, the fine, the 2 courses, and the chemical dependency evaluation, what can you tell this board that you have completed?
None.
Okay. And do you have a defense today or any information you want to share with the board other than it was too expensive?
That's it. That's my only reasoning.
Did you know that the substance abuse course was free?
No, I did not.
Did you check into that course?
I looked into I think I had like a list printed out of like accepted places, and I looked into all of them, I thought, and tried to pick the cheapest ones, and even those were kind of pricey for me at that time.
Okay. And since October 9, 2018, what communications, if any, had you had with the board asking for more time or explaining any financial situation that you may have been under?
None. There was only like one time that I had an extension on the initial fine, but after that, I did not have any contact.
Anything else you want to share with the board?
Not really, I don't guess. Just that, I regret not having kept in better contact and maybe trying to find a different solution.
So then the evidence that we have before the panel then, and your plea of guilt, it would be correct then that you have violated the Nurse Practice Act by being in compliance with your court order. Isn't that fair to say?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. No further questions.
Any questions from the board panel?
Ms. Gilson, my name is Sandra Culpepper, and my only question, I think, for you today is, have you practiced in any capacity as a nurse since this order has been given to you?
Yes, ma'am. I have been an RN since June of 2018 and was working as a RN at Singing River Hospital.
Are you
Until-
currently still-
Ma'am,
Are you still currently employed there?
I am not. It ended on October 15th this year.
Out of curiosity, was it ended by yourself in resignation, or was it by the facility itself?
It was by the facility due to absences.
Ms. Gilson, you do understand, and just to clarify, for me, that whatever board order is given, that it covers all areas of practice. Do you understand that?
I do now.
Thank you.
Any further questions from the board panel? Anything further, council?
Nothing further.
Ms. Gilson, if you have a closing statement, you may make it at this time.
I mean, I'm at fault. I don't really have anything I can say, I don't think.
Thank you, Ms. Gilson. Council?
The evidence, testimony, and plea of guilt substantiate clearly and convincingly the violation of the Nurse Practice Act. Ms. Gilson is guilty, being non-compliant with the final order. The board take that in consideration, along with implying whatever disciplinary action it deems fit and proper in the matter.
Thank you, council. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to close determination. It's been moved. Is there a second? It's been moved and properly seconded. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. There a motion to enter into executive session to deliberate on this matter?
I will second it.
It's been moved and properly seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye. Motion carries. At this time, the board will exit to executive session. Ms. Gilson, you may remain on the line while the board panel deliberates on this matter.
Okay.
We are unmuted.
We are back on the record. We'll entertain a motion to return to regular session.
Make that motion.
I will second it.
It's been moved and properly seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The motion carries. We are back in regular session. Following deliberation by the board panel on license number R909771 and license number P319951, the board renders the following decision. Both licenses are revoked with drug-related recommendations to include AA, NA, educational courses to include documentation, medical administration, substance abuse, ethics, legal aspects. Also chemical and psychological evaluation, employer notification, drug screen, and a $500 fine. A written copy of this order will be forwarded to the licensee. Ms. Gilson, at this time, that concludes our matter here today. You are excused.
Thank you.
We're unmuted.
Okay.
We still have Miss Rankin. Our box disappeared. That's why I asked.
Yeah, TJ went away.
They have one of them to show their camera.
So Ms. Rankin is still on?
What's her last name?
Miss Rankin? Are you available, Miss Rankin?
Not TJ.
TJ?
Can you show your camera for us?
Shan, what did you do? Can you hover over the Zoom button down there, see if there are any other boxes to open?
TJ, can you show your camera to us?
Ms. Rankin, can you hear us? If so, please respond. Also, please make sure your volume is turned up and that your microphone is on.
I can hear y'all. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Very good. Are you able to see us, Ms. Rankin?
Yes, sir. I see three of y'all.
Okay, the next matter before the board, license number R886493, application for restoration of licensure. Is the licensee present?
Yes, sir.
Please state your name.
Rachel Rankin.
Thank you. Are you represented by counsel, Ms. Rankin?
Myself.
All right, thank you. Do you understand you have the right to be represented by an attorney?
Yes, sir.
You also understand you have the right to present witnesses and evidence on your behalf?
Yes, sir.
You also understand you have the right to cross-examine any witnesses who may testify against you?
Yes, sir.
Finally, do you understand that you have the right to have subpoenas issued by the board on your behalf?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. The proceedings will move along as follows. We will have opening statements. We will allow each party to present their side of the case. Questioning of witnesses will take place with direct examination cross-examination, redirect examination, and also any questions from the board member or hearing officer. Once those are concluded, we will have closing statements. The board will make findings of fact and conclusions of law and will render its decision in the matter, a copy of which will be forwarded to the licensee. At this time, I'll ask that any witnesses be sworn in.
There are no witnesses for the state. Ms. Rankin, do you have any witnesses to testify on your
No,
behalf?
sir.
Ms. Rankin, would you raise your right hand to be sworn in for your testimony, please?
Mhm.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this cause to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. For the record, I'd like to announce that there is a quorum present and also remind you that these hearings are open to the public. Again, the board may deliberate and make its decision in executive session. If there are no preliminary matters, council.
At this time, the state would move that exhibits B1 through B8 be admitted into evidence.
Ms. Rankin, do you have any objection to those exhibits?
No, sir.
Thank you, they are admitted. We will at this time begin with opening statements. Ms. Rankin, you may proceed.
I'm Rachel Rankin, and on October 10th, 2018, I had my RN license revoked for unprofessional conduct. I am here today for my restoration hearing in hopes that my RN license will be reinstated.
Thank you, Ms. Rankin. Council.
Yes, thank you. So that is accurate that Ms. Rankin is today before the board asking for her license to be restored. Her license was revoked pursuant to a board hearing and final order dated January 4, 2019. Notable within that board order, Ms. Rankin was found to have administered or documented administration of Norco to a patient wherein a total of 19 doses of Norco were unaccounted for. Further, a reconstructed controlled drug package inventory record was discovered in the respondent, i.e. Ms. Rankin's handwriting, was found in the facility shred box. Ms. Rankin admitted that she diverted patient medication and altered medical records, but sought to explain her actions. She diverted 3 Norco, 10 milligram from resident R, and Norco 7.5 milligram from resident I at Heritage House. She did so for personal use and explained that her actions were related to having rescheduled her appointment with her pain management doctor. Further, she admitted to failing to document medication administration, but denied placing the narcotic record and controlled drug package inventory sheets in the shred box. In this order, the board revoked Ms. Rankin's license. Further, the board made certain recommendations regarding Ms. Rankin's license. It recommended that she complete present and future employer notifications, that she submit to an evaluation for chemical dependency, substance abuse, that she submit to a psychiatric psychological evaluation, that she submit documentation of verification of attendance at AANA, as well as submit evidence of drug screens. Today, the burden is carried by Ms. Rankin to show why she is safe, fit, and competent to return to the practice of nursing. I ask that the board hearing panel today examine all evidence carefully and render a decision that is in line with the protection of the public. Thank you.
Thank you, counsel. Ms. Rankin, at this time, you may make any statements in support of your application for restoration.
On January 23rd, 2017, I was working at Heritage House Nursing Home, 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. I took 8 Norco pills for my personal use. At that time, I was going through personal issues and family issues. My oldest son had a severe orthopedic accident, which required 3 surgeries and required out-of-state trips to Houston, Texas. I was also trying to maintain a full-time job and function as a wife and a mother to my children as a nurse. I was also dealing with my interstitial cystitis, which tends to flare up during crisis events. I was followed by Premier Pain Clinic for my severe pain issues with interstitial cystitis. They had called for my appointment in January to be canceled due to sleet and snow. Attempting to maintain my responsibilities, I resorted to taking 8 Norco pills from work. After my board hearing, I had done what was recommended by the board to fulfill requirements for my RN license to be reinstated. I've attended my required AANA meetings weekly and often chair the meetings. I work with a sponsor. I have 2 sponsors that I work with and I check in with daily. I do my daily check-ins for my urine drug screens and go for my urine tests as I'm selected to go. I read and study chemical dependency materials. I try to maintain a healthy lifestyle with my diet. I exercise. I run anywhere from 20 to 25 miles a week. I attend church every Sunday, and I help community projects with Meals on Wheels. And I just went through a really dark time, and I'm actually doing well, and haven't had any narcotics since January 23, 2017. And that's it. Thank you for allowing me to speak.
Thank you, Ms. Rankin. Counsel.
Thank you. So good afternoon, Ms. Rankin.
Yes, sir.
So it's your testimony that, as is identified in the final order from the board, that you obtained the Norco while working at Heritage House due to running out of your pain management medication. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you identified the condition causing the pain and warranting pain management as interstitial cystitis.
Yes, sir.
Okay, as a layperson, and if you are able to, please describe what that condition is in layman's terms.
So interstitial cystitis, I kind of describe it as a urinary tract infection that is usually ongoing 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The lining of my bladder is not like a normal lining of your bladder. I do have the severe with the ulcers in my bladder. I describe it as a cut that's on your hand when you pour peroxide on it. I do have good days, good hours, and bad days and bad hours. It's frequent urination, severe burning, lots of back, abdominal, and female pain.
And so, Ms. Rankin, you are no longer on pain management for this condition. Is that right?
No, sir. No, sir. I'm not.
Do we understand then that your condition has improved?
It has improved. I've done modified my diet, and it's evident that I cannot take pain medicine. So therefore when I do have a flare up, I deal with it. My flare ups aren't near as bad as they were because I have my stress and anxiety under control now.
And what do you mean, Ms. Rankin, when you state that it's evident you cannot take pain medication?
Excuse me?
stated it is evident that you cannot take pain medication. What
Yes.
pain-
I was misusing Norco. I did have a problem with using my pain medicine, abusing it. At times, I just made a deal with myself. I'm allergic to narcotics. I don't take opiates. So, I mean, I've just learned to deal with it.
And so that is in fact corroborated in your supporting affidavits, correct? For
Yes, sir.
example, by Ann Heltzel, who states on her affidavit number 3 that Rachel was becoming increasingly dependent on opiates, specifically Norco, correct?
Yes, sir.
And also by Molly Griffin, who submitted an affidavit, again, in response to question 3. Rachel was struggling with opiate addiction and her nursing license was revoked, correct?
She did write that. Yes, sir.
Okay, and then once again, by, looks like Jeff Montgomery on the second page, item number 3. Ms. Rankin was abusing and using drugs, correct?
Yes, sir.
And so the board, when it revoked your license, it asked that you submit to evaluations, correct?
Yes, sir.
Do that?
I did. It's on the very last of the binder, and it was Dr. William Cook.
So I think it's important for the record to identify Mr. Cook's summary as to your drug usage. So if you would please, would you please go to that summary now, Ms. Rankin, and let me know when you're there.
Yes, sir. I'm here.
If you would, Ms. Rankin, please read the second paragraph, beginning with Ms. Rachel Rankin indicates. On the
Yes.
first-
Yes, right here, Miss Rachel Rankin indicates that she has no prior history of addiction. She has never had prior chemical dependency treatment. She has no prior history of arrest or altercations with the law. When she was younger, she does indicate occasionally using marijuana and alcohol. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Please continue through the end of the paragraph.
She does admit to misusing her pain medicine occasionally. She reports being under the care of pain management doctor on and off for 8 years.
And so, Ms. Rankin, in light of the affidavits I just read, do you consider this summation to be accurate? That you do not have a prior history of addiction?
No, I didn't have a prior history of addiction. I mean, I was on and off my pain medicine for several years, and actually was offered a lot stronger pain medicine. But it was not something I had to take every single day. When the flare-ups got bad is when I would freak out and hurt so bad. And
you do admit, Ms. Rankin, that you did misuse your pain medication occasionally.
yes, sir, I did.
Okay, so in fact, it's your testimony then that you abused the medication occasionally, but you maintain you never developed an addiction.
Correct. I wasn't taking pain pills every day, all day. And it's not like I could go days. I mean, I couldn't. There was a time in my life where I'd stopped for a year or a year and a half taking anything.
As part of this evaluation, were you provided any diagnoses related to substance use disorder?
No, sir.
I would then direct you to the second page of this assessment, which you have submitted. And I would ask that you read for the record, beginning near the bottom with "in summary" and following through with the recommendations.
Yes, sir. Can I ask, I don't know, can y'all see me? Because this screen on this phone is stuck. Like I can only see seats, empty seats. Okay, so let me get to this. Recommendations, number one, based on my evaluation of Ms. Rankin's psychiatric conditions and chemical dependency issues, I agree that it is helpful for Ms. Rankin to have to attend AA 3 times a week and have a sponsor for accountability. Number two, I also agree that Ms. Rankin benefits from her psychiatric medications, which appear to be appropriately dosed with Joanna Kimbrell, PA. 3, random daily drug screens to be continued per nursing board's recommendations. I do feel that Ms. Rachel Rankin is able to practice as an RN today. However, I think it is beneficial for her to have some supervision with regards to drug screens, AA attendance, and psychiatric medication management.
Okay, thank you, Ms.
Yes,
Rankin.
sir.
And so as part of those recommendations, really that were also found in the board's order for AA-NA attendance, have you submitted or complied rather with those recommendations?
Oh, yes, sir. I go to my meetings faithfully. I've not missed one since, it's been 2 years. I've been almost 2 years. I go faithfully.
And I see that the final page of documentation that the board has today to consider is dated June 2020. Is it your testimony that even subsequent to June 2020, you are continuing to attend AA-NA?
Yes, sir. I have all my papers here. The reason y'all just have it through June is because I submitted my information on my binder in July. So I have documentation of all my drug screen check-ins, tests, and my AA sheets.
And Ms. Rankin, have you also submitted evidence of drug screens in compliance with what is required for the application for restoration of your license?
Yes, sir, I have.
And what were the results of those drug screens?
My drug screens I've had, I believe I should have counted. I believe I've had 16 or 18 selected drug screens. All of them were negative. The very first drug screen I took was abnormal. Miss Bodo thought it was probably my creatinine being low. Maybe I had too much fluids. My urine was more dilute, but it was not positive. I also had another out of norm lab. The same thing. I do tend to drink a lot of water due to my bladder issues. So that could have been it, but all my drug screens are negative thus far.
And when then would you identify as the last time that you consumed a mood altering substance of any kind, Ms. Rankin?
Any narcotic, January 23rd, 2017.
And what was that?
Norco.
Do you consider January 23rd, 2017 to be a sobriety date?
My sobriety date is January 24th, 2017 is what is what my sobriety date is.
So you have a sobriety date, yet you don't have an addiction. Is that correct?
Well, when I go to AA, and so, yes, I mean, that's the last day I've taken any narcotics. I do believe I could have fallen into an addiction if I would have kept on, but I was mishandling the medicines. And thank goodness it happened when it did, because I'm doing great now. And I'm proud of myself.
You've also today provided some medical records. Would you please explain to the board what you were demonstrating within those medical records?
With Joanna Kimbrell, PA. Yes.
Medical Associates of Vicksburg?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I started seeing Joanna after all this happened. I was having anxiety, and I was just some anxiety with everything going on, and sleepless nights, and I was somewhat depressed. So I went to her, and she's helped me tremendously with the medication I'm on. It took us a little bit of playing around with the meds to get a good dose, but I take medicine daily that helps me tremendously, and I follow up with her as needed. And if you need
the provider, please provide that provider's name one more time.
It's Joanna Kimbrell, PA.
And who? That's sufficient. Thank you, Ms. Rankin. And so thank you. Next, I would ask if you would please then identify Erica Burchler.
Yes, sir. Erica was a nurse practitioner at the Premier Pain Clinic who would see me every 3 months for my prescription for pain meds.
And when was your last prescription for pain meds?
It would have been, they gave them to me 3 months at a time. So like I told you with my hearing, I would take them to Battlefield Drugs and they would scan them and keep them. It would have been around December 20th, maybe.
Of what year?
2016.
Okay, well, Ms. Rankin, I'm looking at Exhibit B7, the prescription monitoring profile, and it actually identifies it as 12/18 of 2017, that you filled a prescription for hydrocodone, 10 milligrams, quantity of 60 from the provider we just discussed, which I would add is in fact 11 months subsequent to your stated sobriety date. How do you respond?
Wait, excuse me now. Let me, okay. January 2017 was a new year. So I went the month before, which would have been December, unless I'm not thinking correctly. Could you repeat?
Yes, ma'am, I'd be happy to. You stated earlier, your sobriety date is January 23rd, 2017. The last time you used a controlled substance. I am examining Exhibit B7, which identifies a prescription for hydrocodone filled by you December 18th, 2017, approximately 11 months after your stated sobriety date.
Maybe these years, maybe it was 2018.
So
This January, I will have not used opiates in 3 years, this January. So if my hearing was on, it's probably me having it backwards. If my hearing was on October of 2018, then yes, it was January of 2018 that it happened, and then it would have been 2000. I have not been to that doctor since all this happened.
So just to be clear then, to correct the record, your sobriety date is instead January 23rd, 2018, correct? Not.
Yes, it will be 3 years this January. I should have had that recorded properly.
Ms. Rankin, have you submitted any proof of completion of educational courses today for the board's review?
No, sir, I have not.
And the last time you practiced nursing was when?
January 23rd of 2018.
And so with some time passing, Ms. Rankin, if the board determines that you be awarded your license back, would you comply with any educational requirement that the board deemed fit to return you to your competence level of a
Yes.
reasonable?
Yes, sir, I will.
If the board determines that your license should be awarded today, albeit subject to probation and drug screening, would you continue to submit to drug screening with this board?
I sure will, yes.
Will you continue to attend AA, NA meetings?
Yes, I will. That will be, my AANA meetings will be, indefinitely, regardless. Yes, sir.
And lastly, I would ask Ms. Rankin, what is your contingency plan for pain in the event that you experience a flare-up in your medical condition that is to the level that you previously would have consumed pain medication?
Well, I guess I would just have to deal with the discomfort and pain and do non-medication measures. I mean, I'm bound and determined to not take any narcotics, and nothing's going to change that. I don't deserve any medication. I stole from somebody. So no, I live with it. That's what I do. It's okay.
Have you discussed with the medical provider a contingency plan such as that which I just described?
No, I have not.
Do you believe it's wise not to have such a plan of action in place?
I mean, I think my doctors know how I feel, and my allergies are to opiates is what I put, or narcotics, because
So
know.
are your physicians or medical providers aware of your history with opiate medication?
yes, sir.
Yes, they are.
Not well, since all this went on with the board and my nursing.
Okay, so let me make sure I understand your response, Ms. Rankin. It's your testimony that you have informed all of your medical providers of the misuse of opioid medications by yourself.
Not all of them. I no longer see Premier Pain Management. So
All of your current medical providers, Ms. Rankin?
no, there's one I probably need to talk to about it, but I can do that whenever I go back to see him.
Just one moment.
Yes, sir.
No further questions at this time.
Thank you, counsel. Any questions from the board panel? Mr. Adams, can you hear me? Mr. Adams, did you have any questions for Ms. Rankin?
No, sir, just a little technical difficulty. For some reason, I got knocked offline.
All right, thank you. We will move to closing statements. Ms. Rankin, you may make your statement at this time.
In closing, I feel like my life has changed for the better going through this experience. Attending AANA has helped me the most develop coping skills and to deal with anxiety and stress. I'm comfortable with my AA family and plan to continue my meetings and help others. And I would hope each and every one of you will consider reinstating my RN license. I've worked very hard and I'm so proud of the woman I've become. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ms. Rankin. Mr. Musaga?
Ms. Rankin has submitted a complete restoration application with evidence of negative drug screens, compliance with the board order revoking her license, wherein she submitted to a psychiatric and chemical dependency evaluation. That evaluation yielded no results showing chemical dependency. However, it did recommend drug screening for a term recommended by the Board of Nursing, as well as continued attendance at AANA, to which Ms. Rankin has already been attending. Ms. Rankin has not practiced as a nurse for nearly 3 years. I would ask that the board take that into consideration in terms of ensuring her competency for returning to the profession. Ms. Rankin has taken ownership of her past mistakes, and due to her admitted misuse of opiates and the enhanced access to controlled substances offered by the nursing profession, I would ask that this board consider a prescribed time period of probation wherein continued drug screening would occur for Ms. Rankin. I ask that you just consider all evidence duly admitted and render a decision that is aligned with the protection of the public. Thank you.
All right, thank you, counsel. At this time, I entertain a motion for closed determination. Been moved and properly seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next, entertain a motion for the board panel to enter executive session.
Make a motion, we enter executive session.
Been moved and properly seconded. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The board will now exit to executive session. Ms. Rankin, you may remain on the line while the board deliberates this matter. We should return shortly with a decision.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
Hey, Miss Rachel.
Yes, ma'am.
Hey Floyd, how's it going?
right, we are back on the record. Entertain a motion to return to regular session. Anybody?
I'll make the motion. I second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The motion carries. We are back in regular session. Following deliberation on license number R886493, the board panel renders the following. Reinstated with drug-related stipulations to include 60 months probation, drug screens, employer reports, AA/NA meetings, indirect supervision, prohibited areas of practice, max hours, 88 hours per 2 weeks, educational courses to include substance abuse, legal aspects, ethics, documentation, medication administration. Ms. Rankin, this concludes your hearing today. We thank you for your presence. You are excused.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Mhm.
So,
What's next?
do you want, so do you, me and TJ want to do this one just in case she needs to slip out? Black Scout is a,
No show?
they're all no shows.
No, she's the publication.
Oh,
All right, the next matter before the board, license number P316626. Council, are there any preliminary matters on this?
There are, and for that, I would call Floyd Wiley.
The testimony you're about to give in this call to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God.
Yes,
Please state your name for the record.
Floyd Wiley,
And in what capacity are you here today?
bailiff.
And have you made a determination of whether Jennifer Glasgow is present and available for her hearing?
Yes, I have.
And what have you done to make that determination?
I checked the laptop, the monitor to see if she was on the list of participants for the Zoom meeting. She was not. I went to the front of the building and the back of the building, called her name 3 times with no response. I checked the visitor sign-in log. She had not signed in. And I checked the respondents log and she has not signed in.
Thank you, Mr. Wiley. I will now direct your attention to Exhibit B2, which has not yet been entered into evidence. Would you please identify for the record Exhibit B2?
There's a computer printout of the licensure of Jennifer Glasgow.
Okay, thank you. Is there a primary address indicated on Exhibit B2?
Yes, the address is 576 Lincoln's Drive, Brandon, Mississippi.
Thank you. I'm now going to direct your attention to what has been marked Exhibit B5, not yet entered into evidence. Would you please identify for the record Exhibit B5?
It is the complaint notice of hearing for Ms. Glasgow.
And can you confirm that the address on the front page of Exhibit B5 matches the address you just indicated on Exhibit B2?
Yes, the addresses do match.
Okay. And next, I would direct your attention to what is attached to the back of Exhibit B5. Would you identify that for the record, please?
It is a letter, certified letter that was addressed to Jennifer Glasgow.
Again, can you confirm the address matches that on the front page of Exhibit B5 and Exhibit B2?
Yes, all three addresses do match.
Is there a status indicated on this envelope?
It was returned to us here at the board, unable to forward to Jennifer Glasgow.
And lastly, can you confirm that the certified mail number attached to the envelope matches the certified mail number on the front page of Exhibit B5?
Yes, those numbers do match.
Thank you. Now, Mr. Wiley, I would direct your attention to Exhibit B15, not yet entered into evidence. Would you please identify for the record Exhibit B15?
It is an affidavit proof of publication,
Okay, and what publication are we dealing with?
Rankin County News.
Okay, and to whom and at what time and location is it directing to appear?
It is directed to Jennifer Glasgow. She was summoned to appear before the Mississippi Board of Nursing on December the 9th, 2020 at 8:30 a.m.
Okay, and can you confirm, Mr. Wiley, that this was indeed published for 3 consecutive weeks? And if so, what are those dates?
Yes, it was, and the dates are November the 4th, 2020, November the 11th, 2020, November the 18th, 2020.
Thank you. At this time, the state would move to proceed with this case as all statutory requirements for notice have been met.
You may proceed.
The state would move that exhibits B1 through B15 be admitted into evidence.
They are admitted.
Thank you. The state would rest on its pleadings.
Thank you, counsel.
The last one is Ms. Hester. She is also initial. Yeah, that's good.
Sullivan, okay. The next matter before the board, license number R782571. Are there any preliminary matters, counsel?
Yes, there are. Boyd Wiley will need to be sworn to answer some questions regarding her appearance.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this cause to be the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
Please state your name for the record.
Floyd Wiley,
And Mr. Wiley, in what capacity are you serving the board today?
as the bailiff.
Okay, and have you made a determination as to whether or not Rebecca Sullivan is present and available for her hearing?
Yes, ma'am. I went to the front of the building and the back of the building, called her name 3 times with no response. I checked the respondent sign-in sheet. She has not signed in. I checked the visitor's log. She has not signed in. And I checked the computer monitor to see if she was a participant to be on the Zoom, and she was not.
Okay, I'm gonna hand you what's not yet been entered into evidence. The last page marked Exhibit B5. Just for identification purposes, what is that document?
It's a green card of proof of service to Rebecca Sullivan,
Okay, and what address is listed on that card?
160 County Road 505, Ripley, Mississippi.
Okay, and it was returned to us, is it not?
Yes, it was.
Okay, and the certified number listed on the bottom, is it not?
Yes, it is.
Okay, can you verify now that that address matches the same address as the notice marked Exhibit B5?
Yes, the addresses do match.
Okay, and do the certified mail numbers match up as well?
Yes, the numbers do match also.
Okay, and finally, can you verify, it's marked Exhibit B2, that that address that was sent or that is stated there on the green card, as well as the notice of complaint, is it the address that's noted in the Board of Nursing's licensing system?
Yes, all 3 addresses do match.
At this time, the state would move that the matter regarding Rebecca Sullivan be allowed to proceed, given that there is evidence that the process requirements have been met according to Mississippi Annotated Code 731531.
You may proceed.
Okay, at this time, the state moves that exhibits B1 through B10 be admitted into evidence.
They are admitted.
The state will rest on its leans.
All right, thank you, counsel. The next matter before the board panel, license number R738532. Any preliminary matters with this one, counsel?
Yes, I would like to call Floyd Wiley to testify as to the appearance, whereabouts of Ms. Hester.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this call is to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth so help you God?
Yes.
Please state your name for the record.
Lloyd Wiley,
And Mr. Wiley, in what capacity are you serving the board today?
as the bailiff.
And have you made a determination as to whether or not Kathy Hester is present and available for her hearing?
Yes, I have. I checked the computer and it's not a list on the participant for the Zoom meeting. I checked the front of the building and the back of the building by calling her name 3 times with no response. I checked the visitor sign-in sheet. She has not signed in. I checked the respondent's log and she has not signed in.
Angie, what's been marked not yet entered into evidence, the last page marked exhibit B5. Can you identify that document?
Yes, it is a green card proof of service to Kathy Hester.
Okay, and can you verify the address on that green card receipt, please?
Yes, it is 700 Halstead Road, Ocean Springs, Mississippi.
Okay, and on this particular green card, does it have a date of delivery?
Yes, it's November the 3rd, 2020.
Okay, and finally, on that particular green card receipt, is it listed there a certified mail number?
Yes, it is.
All right, and what is last 4 digits?
4585.
Now, Angie, what's been marked, not yet entered into evidence, marked exhibit, first page B5. Can you verify whether or not the address that's located on the notice to Ms. Hester, is that address the same? Does it match the address that's located on the green card?
Yes, the addresses are the same.
Okay, and the last 4 digits that you just testified to, can you verify those are the last 4 digits listed there on the notice?
Yes, they are the same.
And when was Ms. Hester ordered to appear before this panel?
On today's date, Wednesday, December the 9th, 2020 at 8:30 a.m.
Okay, and then finally, can you verify that the address that you testified to as to on the receipt, a green card receipt, as well as the notice, is it also the same address as listed in the Board of Nursing's licensure registry system?
Yes, all 3 addresses do match.
Okay, at this time, the board would move this matter be allowed to proceed, given that due process requirements have been met according to Code Annotated 731531.
You may proceed.
The state this time moves exhibits B1 through B10 be admitted into evidence.
They are admitted.
The state now will rest on its pleas.
All right, thank you, counsel. Are there any other matters that need to come before the board today?
The hearings for today.
Okay. Well, at this time, I entertain a motion for closed determination.
That motion?
It's been moved and properly seconded. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We will next entertain a motion for the board panel to enter executive session.
Make a motion to enter executive session.
It's been moved and properly seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The board will now enter executive session regarding the following. License number P316626, license number 782571, license number R738532.
I'll make that motion.
We will now exit to executive session and return with a decision regarding the same. We are back on the record. I will entertain a motion to return to regular session.
Make that motion.
I second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 The panel is now back in regular session. Having deliberated on the following matters, license number P 316626, the board renders revocation. License number R 782571, the board renders revocation. License number R 738532, the board panel renders revocation. Any further business before the panel today, council?
I have none.
Thank you all for attending. That will conclude the board's business for today.
Thank you.
Thank you, board members.